TP, the boys are back in town.
Oh, yeah.
We're back. We're doing the podcast. It feels good. It feels fun. It feels fresh. We're back and ready to go.
I have so many stories. There is so much to talk about.
Well, that's good because I don't think I really have many. But
Oof, I have so many.
Well, yeah, to explain for the audience, the reason we were off for like a month or whatever is because TP was on vacation. We were supposed to record a video or a podcast before he left, but we decided not to. And
Yeah.
now we're here about a month later.
Yeah, I'm all freshly tanned. I'm all holidayed out. I'm ready to do some work.
Yeah. Well,
Alright.
how was your vacation?
It was great. We went Kos. It was a 10-day stay. Do you know what Kos is?
I don't.
Kos is a Greek island. It's
Ah.
very nice, very warm. It's got a volcano on it. It's pretty cool. Our hotel was like 3 minutes away or 4 minutes away from the beach, and we had our own private pool. Not to flex, but it's really, really cool. And the great thing with it was you could just go in at any time. So we just had like a little splish splash at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
It was so great, and it was lit up, and it was nice and amazing and awesome, and I'm running out of adjectives. But yeah, it was pretty good. I did a lot when we did a lot when we got there. We visited like 7 different beaches. We went to these therm pools, which I don't know if you heard of these. Well, because it's a volcanic island, like there's still magma. It's not active, but like there's still magma underneath, like pretty close to the surface. And in certain areas around the island, there's like these pools of water that are separated away from the ocean or the sea by rocks. And you go in and it's like 40-50 degrees this water, and it's just amazing. You can feel like all like the minerals and stuff biting away at your skin, and it's awesome. So we spent like a few days going to that. You just spent like 4 hours just going from the cold sea to the really warm therm bit. And then there was this cafe next to it, which we made friends with a lot of people. Fun fact. Did you know in Kos, in this particular island, there is no drinking like age restrictions?
Really?
There's none.
I feel like I've heard about certain places, maybe not specifically where you were, but I've heard of that before. Like, there's no drinking age in certain places, which is insane.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I could drink anyway, even if it was like a 18 plus, because I look like an 18-year-old. But my sister could drink, and it was great. You just walk around down the town, and you just see like these 7-year-olds with bottles of vodka. It's great.
What the fuck?
No, it's so cool. Also, I don't know if you know this, but in Greek islands especially, around hotel resorts, there's always so many cats. Like, just stray cats everywhere, and it's just normal to them. It's so weird.
Yeah, I suppose you're around something for long enough, you just get used to it.
Yeah. So you'd walk out your hotel, out to your private beach, dressed up, going down this town to the beach with, like, you know, a giant inflatable mattress and a donut around your head. And you just walk past, like, 20 cats just sitting there. And on the other side of the road, like, 3 kids with just drinking vodka.
That's insane. I can't wrap my head around that with no drinking it. That's insane. That's insane for one, but two, just I feel wildly irresponsible.
Why?
Because it's kids drinking. Just generally, it's not good.
I mean, I I don't think it's like that bad for them. Yeah, sure, it's not great, but like, it's just alcohol. It's not like heroin, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose in that aspect you're right. It's not too terribly damaging, but the reason there's drinking ages is because your brain isn't, even with the drinking age in America being 21, your brain isn't fully developed. So that's the reason why there's like a drinking age. Your brain isn't fully developed and it could mess up your head.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a risk I'm willing to take. I mean, I guess like 7-year-olds is a bit, a bit extreme, but I think 12 or 14 is a perfectly good age for drinking laws.
The lowest I feel would be acceptable, because I'm a person who doesn't drink or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just saying that because it's not legal where I'm at. I'm just saying that because I just actually don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the lowest I would go, as someone who has never drank and doesn't plan to ever drink, is like 14. That'd be the lowest I'd like accept, I guess.
I think it's strange because if you're with your parents, then I think 12, 14 is fine. But if you're alone,
Yeah.
then I think 12 and 14 is a bit harsh. I think if you're alone, like 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know the laws in England about drinking. I looked heavily into this. Don't ask why. Basically, you're allowed to drink with your parents at home since the age of 5. If you're 5 onwards, you can drink at home, like legally with your parents.
I'm pretty sure you've told me this before, and I'm pretty sure I had the exact same reaction of what the hell.
Yeah, and then if you're out in a restaurant or a bar or on any sort of place like that, and you're with a guardian, you can drink. You can have like a drink, an alcoholic drink, with a meal. You have to have a meal, and you have to be sat with a guardian. Which
At what age?
Sorry, what?
At what age?
At 16.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good law. At 16, you can drink with your family, like at a meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at
'Cause-
18, you can buy and do whatever.
Yeah, because like here it's an unspoken rule. It's not like an actual law or anything, but kind of like the general consensus among like families and stuff like that. Like the drinking age to drink with family, like this isn't legal technically, but you'd still get a minor or whatever if you got caught drinking. But the like the family drinking age to drink with family is like 18. That's like the generally like accepted drinking age, like to drink with family or start drinking around your family or talking about drinking or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like any time before that, like with my family at least, that's kind of the case. But it seems to be kind of like that's how it is just all around. But of 18 being like the family, quote unquote, family drinking age, whereas the legal drinking age is 21. But yeah, that's kind of like an unspoken rule, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. You're
Interesting.
technically an adult, you should be able to drink, and that's what the drinking age is in most other countries.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised. Like in America, it's 21. I don't really think about it. So you're 18, right?
Yep.
And you've never drank.
Nope. Never have. Never. Plan to never.
You're
Plan to
never.
never
You
will.
don't want to.
No, I just don't see a point in it. Like other people can have it, can drink to have fun. I don't care. I'm not like that type of person. Like, oh, no one should drink. There's no point in it. Like, I just don't really see a point in it because, like, a lot of people like around here. I don't know if it's the case in other countries. I'm assuming so. But like people drink and like I talk to like my parents and grandparents about it, and they're like, oh, it's a social thing. It's like a normal social thing to have a beer with at like a social gathering. It's like I understand that, but I don't see a point in it. Why can't I just drink like water or a soda or something? It's like I just don't see a point in drinking, so I plan to never drink. I just don't see a point in it.
Okay, so I used to have the same thinking,
Mhm.
back like 2 years ago when I didn't really drink. But seeing how drinking, even like a little bit, even like just a few, just like half a beer, can like loosen you up and get rid of that anxiety and stuff like that when you're in social gatherings.
Yeah.
It helps a lot, and it doesn't like do anything to you. The worst you get is you overdrink and you get a hangover the next day, and then you just you drink pickle juice and you're fine.
Yeah, I understand that aspect of it, and it can like help loosen you up, but it's like I just don't I don't know, I just don't ever plan to drink just cuz I don't think it's not for me, I don't think.
Are you scared of it?
Just drinking. I'm not really scared of it. I just don't plan to ever drink is the thing. I'm not scared of it. I just don't see a point in it. I mean, I understand people's viewpoints of like, oh, I like to drink. I like to have a beer. So I drink socially and whatever. People's reasons for drinking are like I understand it, but it's like I just don't really think it's for me. I'm not necessarily scared of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, I respect other people's opinions in terms of like drinking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like my parents both drink, my grandparents, my aunt, my uncle, they all drink, and they occasionally, like every time like we all get together, like my parents, my grandparents, and my aunt and uncle, they always offer me a beer, and I'm like, nope. Like untypical teenager response, like, or like 18-year-old response, like, oh, you want a beer? Nope. Like normally be like, sure. But
Nope.
it's like I don't even like joking about it, because like a year ago, in like it doesn't matter when it was, but like a year ago, me, my brother, and my dad, we went up to see my grandparents, and my mom had to stay home because she had to work, and they I don't remember who had this idea, but but someone had the idea for me to hold up an empty beer can, and they took a picture of it and sent it to my mom, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it because I don't like joking about it, because I can't say that I don't like drinking because I've never drank, but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like
The idea.
I don't like joking about it. Yeah, the idea of it. Of me. I don't like the idea of me drinking. Drinking in general is fine for other people. I don't care. Like I've reiterated. But the idea of me drinking, I just don't like it. Because I don't ever plan to drink.
Interesting.
And that is subject to change in years to come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But as of now, I don't plan to drink at all.
I mean, I'm like 50% sure that one day you will get home from work and you will just be so stressed, and you will just see that bottle of tequila and you just will swing.
Why would I see that if I don't drink? Why would there be alcohol in my house if I don't drink?
Are you planning to live alone for the rest of your life?
I don't know. Maybe that's a possibility.
I mean, I guess. What? That's a bit
No,
depressing.
I see what you're saying. Like if my wife or girlfriend or
Yeah.
something drinks, and I see it. I will be honest. There have been times like when with my summer job I'd come home and I would see, because for my grad party, my parents bought a bunch of alcohol. Like I think it was like $300 worth of alcohol.
Shit.
But it was like a bunch of like beer and stuff like that. It was all beer, but there was like some like Trulies in there left over because people really didn't drink those, because they got Bud Light, Busch Light,
Mm-hmm.
Trulies, and Twisted Teas.
Mm-hmm.
And there were Trulies and some Twisted Teas left over. And I'd look in the fridge like when I got home from work, because I'd get home at 11 at night. And I'd look in there, I'd be like, it'd be nice if I drank just to come home and drink a beer. And I was like, I very well could, but that's not gonna happen. Like there's been times, like not because of like stress or anything from work, it's just like that's like it's a very blue collar thing to do, like come home and have a beer. But I'm like, I'm not that type of person. I don't really think I have the personality to be a drinker, I suppose. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's a bit different. Maybe it could also like depend on how families are, and because I'm Polish and drinking in Poland is very, very common. Like it's just if you're
Same around
Polish,
here, yeah.
if you're Polish, you drink and you are good at it. So my family always like 5-6 years ago, always when they're having a drink, they're like, "Hey, do you want a little bit to your cup?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll try a little bit." And then it's always like the same ill, disgusted face, because at a young age, obviously, you don't like alcohol. Alcohol you only start liking when you're about 20, 21.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was just like born into it. I have not really been able to get my own opinion on it. I've just been born into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had like the little sips here and there when I was younger, but it's never been really something that appeals to me. And also, my one of my uncles, my uncle on my mom's side doesn't drink either. And me and him we've talked about it before. Like once I formed the opinion, like I'll probably never drink. I don't plan to drink at all. I don't really see a point in drinking, whatever. Me and him were talking about that one time, and he was like, "Yeah, I have that same mindset." And like on that side of the family, like everyone drinks. Like for the most part, there's like a handful of people who don't. Because that side of the family's big. My great grandma had like 6 kids, and then each of them had at least 1 kid, and then so on and so forth. So it's a big family on that side. But yeah, me and him were talking about this like a year ago or something, year and a half ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I was around it and I saw what it did to other people, and it made him act dumb. So I'd never really wanted to do that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's probably the reason why I plan not to drink either. Like seeing like what it can do to people. Like I don't really want that. Like I know you can just like have a beer and it'll just like kind of loosen you up, and you won't be drunk. You'll just be like buzzed or whatever. But I just don't. It just doesn't appeal to me. Is the thing. It doesn't appeal to me.
I mean, alcohol is different for every single person. I'm very fortunate to know no one that has drinking problems. And I'm also very fortunate to have a family of heavyweights. So after like 3 beers, I'm still fine. I don't start feeling anything until I have like 4 shots. So I guess it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Also, do you have another scenario? Do you plan on ever going to like parties or clubbing? I don't know if that's a thing over there.
It'll probably happen at some point. Yeah.
Okay, have you ever had like school discos and stuff?
School discos, like a school dance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to like 1 or 2, like in middle school.
Okay, and are you the nerd that sits in the corner?
No, because I don't go to them unless I have friends there, so I just hang out with my friends.
Do you dance?
Not really, no.
Okay. I'm that type of guy that doesn't dance. And I feel after alcohol, I would. So the only way I would be able to go like clubbing and parties was with alcohol.
Yeah, I feel like if that ever happened, like I'd be with my friends, so I'd be in a goofy mood enough, whether or not I do drink. Because like my whole friend group doesn't drink either. There's one person who does in my friend group, but yeah, and we're goofy enough without alcohol. Like, yes, it could be potentially more fun if we did drink and got drunk or whatever, but it's like to have fun, we don't need the alcohol, and we get goofy enough while sober. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's not only about being goofy and having fun, because you can still have fun being sober, but it's more like letting loose.
Yeah, and I think like where I was trying to get with that is like we let loose because we're just around each other. Like we all bring like the silliness and the looseness, I guess, for lack of a better term. We bring the looseness out in each other just because we've known each other for so long, and we're best friends, and we just bring it out in each other, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, back to my holiday. Enough
Yeah.
about drinking. What else did we do? We rented out a car for a few days, and then we rented out quads and a jeep and a not a jeep, a quads and a buggy, and then a jeep. Which was cool. That's how we traveled to the beaches and stuff. Ate a lot, drank a lot, had a lot of fun. There's a bunch of funny stories and like interesting stories, but I don't know which ones to start off with. I'll start off with this one. Okay, so basically, one day we're out visiting this beach that we got recommended to us. Apparently, one of the nicest beaches in all of Kos. It's called Agios Stefanos or something like that. Basically, it's a beach. It's not very big, but it's like it's a decent sized beach. But the amazing part is that like 100 meters or something around that out, there's like an island and you can swim to it or take like a pedal boat or just swim over there like yourself, and you can go on top of the island, and there's rocks and there's a cool church thing on top, and it's really good for pictures and stuff. So we got to the beach. My mum and my sister aren't the greatest at swimming, so we decided to rent a pedalo. It's called a pedalo. The pedal boat thing.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you sit in it, and then it's like a bike, and two people row like a pedal like a bike, and then you go forwards. So we rented out one of them. And it was really, really windy on that day, like extremely windy, especially from that side, because that's where all the that's where the wind was. And we set off. We got to the island, and we parked up. So I had to get out. I had to like hop out. I had to hold the boat and like clip it to this thing. And then you just had to let it go and like hope it doesn't flow away. And there was just like this mini rocky beach, and then you had to like mountain climb up the island, and then on top there was the church. So my mum and my sister, not very athletic, so they stayed at the bottom. They just sunbathed on the rocky beach and quote unquote minded the boat. And me and my dad ran up the mountain climbing bit. We got to the church, made a lot of photos. My dad's kind of scared of heights, so he was very panicky, and I couldn't really like get too adventurous. It's been like half an hour. We're taking pictures. It's great. I'm stood on like this like pole, and I'm looking down off of the cliff, and I can see my sister and my mom like waving to them, hey, 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 and then they scream back, hey, hey, and it's fine. Everything's going great. I go to the church. I ring the bell that was on the side of it, which is pretty cool. And then I wanted to see if my mom and my sister heard it. So I looked over again, and my mom and my sister were both like panicking and screaming our names. Like, oh shit, what's happened?
Yeah.
This can't be good. I get my dad, and we both listen in to what's going on. And I as I look down, I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? I look to the side, I'm like, where's our boat?
Oh no.
So my first thought was someone's jacked our boat, and they've just ran off with it. But that's like highly impossible. We would have seen them, first of all. Second of all, my mum and my sister were quote unquote minding the boat.
Mhm.
So turns out it was so windy. The bit that was attached, that attached our boat to the thing, it snapped, and our boat just drifted away, and was stuck on some like really spiky rocks like you see in movies. You know when you see like a prison or a castle on top of a mountain, or like an island,
Yeah.
and you see like these spiky rocks. It was like that, but in real life. So me and my dad, you know, my mum and sister can't really swim. So me and my dad It's like, oh
Yeah.
no, we gotta run. We both sprint down, like basically jumping off of this really high cliff. Wasn't safe at all, but it was fine. I
Wasn't
started.
safe. Did what we had to do.
Sorry, what?
Wasn't safe. Had to do what we had to do. Had to be the heroes
I mean,
of the day.
I didn't leave unscathed. Okay, it wasn't safe at all. So I started swimming to our boat. Turns out there was only like 30 centimeters of water, and there was spiky rocks at the bottom of this 30 centimeters. So I was just belly gliding across these spiky rocks, just holding on to whichever one I seen. Scraping my belly was great. Got to the boat. My dad decided to go over the top and like jump down onto the boat, which made him look like a superhero, which was pretty cool. And we got onto we tried to get on the boat. I couldn't really get on the boat. As I was struggling up and like pushing myself up, I kicked the spiky rock, cut my foot open, which was great. Then we got onto it and we pedaled over to my mum and sister, and it was great. And happily ever after, it was fine. We did make a hole in the bottom, but we just left before they noticed, so we didn't have to pay a fine or anything for damaging the boat. But it was their fault because the thing that was attached to it just was snapped. It wasn't even attached. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like it's part of like a movie, and it's always weird whenever there's like you're living a movie scene or something like that. Because I had sort of like a similar thing, like it felt like I was in a movie. Like me and my friends Jacob and Bobby, we went kayaking. This is like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago maybe. And we went kayaking, and because my friend Jacob, he lives across from literally across the street from the river, and we would usually go in there, but this time we went in by the dam, in town. So we went in by the dam, and it's on like the edge of town, and then we kind of went like kind of across town in the river. And Jacob, he got in just fine. He got in his kayak, and he kind of got out of the way so then I could go in. And so I got in my kayak, and then Bobby pushed me in. Like he kind of like took my kayak and just kind of like he pushed it harder than he should have, is the thing. He took it and he just kind of pushed it, and this is my second time kayaking ever, by the way. So like we go in and we're gonna go like the way away from the dam, obviously. But he pushed me in, and I like kind of got turned the wrong way, and I started going towards the dam, and so they start freaking out. I start freaking out. I'm like, shit, and they're like, Trevor, steer away from it. I'm like, I'm trying. This is my second time kayaking. I don't know what I'm doing. But then luckily I kind of like hit a wall that was in front of it, like a concrete wall, and that's what stopped me. But I was just like, holy shit, I almost died. Like having like all this water coming down on me, like it was so scary.
The realization, like the holy shit moment.
Yeah. And I was just sitting there like held up on the wall, and I like put my hands on my head, and I'm just like, holy shit. And then like an hour later, or however long it was, we start going down the river, just kayaking, just having a good old time. And then later on, like at some point, I think it was like maybe a half hour, 45 minutes later or whatever after this, there's like on the shore, there's like trees like kind of like leaning, like drooping down into the water or whatever. And I'd done this a handful of times before when there's like been branches in my way. Like I kind of like lean out of the way, and arguably not a smart thing to do on a kayak, but I leaned out of the way, and I leaned too much this time, so then I flipped my kayak, and I fell out. Somehow my head didn't go under the water at all, because because afterwards I like felt my hair, and I was like, my hair isn't wet whatsoever. This is weird. That's weird. But anyway,
Skills?
like the kayak flipped over so the seat is like down towards the water.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened, and Jacob and Bobby, they're a ways ahead of me. Um, and like I put my hands on top of the kayak, like just to hold myself up because I don't know how to swim. Well, I do, but I'm not good at it. I took swimming lessons, but I forgot. um, but I put my hands on the kayak, and I'm just like, oh, and it's like whenever I'm in the water, like where I can't touch the bottom, I get scared and I can't breathe, so I'm not able to like yell or anything. Because this happened like 2-3 months ago, when me and some friends went out on the boat, and I got in the water because we were swimming, and I got in, and I was like, I had a life jacket on and everything, like this time and when we were kayaking, but I had a life jacket on and everything, so I knew I would be fine since I don't really know how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the water, and like I instantly, like the second my body was like fully in the water, I couldn't breathe, like when we were on the boat. And I couldn't breathe, and I was like, nope, I can't. Like I couldn't say anything. I just like I don't know if that came over Discord at all, but I was just like gasping for air, and I was really scared, and I was like, nope. Then I instantly got back on the boat, and they're like, what's wrong? And I was like, I got in, couldn't breathe. Remembered why I don't like swimming in deep water. So yeah, as long as I can touch the bottom, I'm fine swimming, and that's really the only time I'd swim. But if I can't touch the bottom, I'm screwed, and I can't breathe because I get so scared. Yeah, I didn't know this was a fear of mine until a few months ago, where I like made the parallel between this and when we went kayaking. But anyway, back to that story. When I was I flipped, and I had my hands over the kayak to hold myself above water, and I couldn't like speak at all. I just couldn't, because I couldn't breathe. And then Bobby, he looks behind him, because I'm pretty sure I don't know if it made a noise. It was like a car crash, basically. Like everything went in like everything happened so fast. I know they say like car crashes go in slow motion, but in this case, like everything went so fast. And so I don't know if I made like a loud noise. I'm assuming I did, since I fell in the water. But Bobby looked behind him, and he's like, Trevor! And then he like quickly, before I knew it, he was over by me, and then I started holding on to his kayak, and they brought me over to the shore. I was holding on to Bobby's kayak, and he's like, Trevor, stop holding on to my kayak. If you keep doing it, we're both gonna flip. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And because at this point I'm fine, I can speak. And I was like, what? Like I would still have like a weak voice, but I was like, what do you want me to do? And then he's like, hold on to Jacob's kayak, because Jacob's kayak is more like heavy duty, I guess, as opposed to his, where there's like kind of like a light plastic sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like, hold on to Jacob's, and then Jacob brought me over to shore, and then they went back and got my kayak, and then brought it to like this little island in the middle of the water, and then started draining the water out of it. But yeah, that day was unfortunate, because first I almost went into the dam, and then I flipped like an hour later. It was awful. I was like, what are the goddamn odds?
Damn.
But yeah, it felt like a movie. Like more so the dam part of it, but yeah, it felt like a movie scene. Like like a high like intensity moment in a movie or something.
Like music plays like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And he's
and then it cuts to Jacob and Bobby. Trevor, get out of there! And then I look back behind me. I didn't. I looked forward, but I looked behind me like into the camera. And I'm like, I'm trying.
And splishing, splashing, splishing, splashing. Great acting.
Yeah. But in reality, it's like, I'm trying. Like not like I'm trying. Like that's what it would be in the movie. But it's like in real life, it's like an annoyed like no shit. Like I'm trying.
Like, motherfucker, what do you think I'm doing?
Exactly. It's like, oh, I wanted to go into the dam.
I don't know what else to say about my holiday. I have so many pictures and stuff. I'm trying to remember like a good story I can end off for today, because I don't think I can get another 2 more in. While I think, do you want to do Trevor's dream corner?
I can.
Let's go.
I had one that I had the other night, but I didn't write it down for some dumb reason.
SMH.
Because I had one and I was like, I'll tell this on the podcast. I should have wrote it down, but then I completely forgot it. God, it was a good one too.
Down.
Oh, I remember it. Oh,
nice save.
okay. So, there's a town where I live. It's fine that I'm saying this, but because it's a big town. But there's a town an hour away from where I live called Fargo,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a dream that this takes place after like in like real time because like school's starting up again here and like I got enrolled in because we're moving to like me and my family were moving to Fargo for some reason. I don't know exactly why, but um we're moving to Fargo and I'm apparently, for whatever reason, having to take my senior year again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm like, we go to the school. I get like my schedule or something. I don't remember what we went to the school for, but I was there and I was just like, I walked out of the school and for some reason, this part of the dream, only this part of the dream, it's winter. For some reason, because it was like kind of like the gray, like like the gray feeling the outside has during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that feeling. There's like snow, like a light layer of snow on the ground, and so for some reason this was during the winter, but then we drive back to where I live. I'm not gonna say the name of this town because that'll dox me, but um it took like 20 minutes and it's an hour away, so I don't know why it took so short of a time, but
It's your dreams. You time traveled. Come on, man.
exactly. But yeah, we drive back. It's now not winter for some reason. um but yeah, oh, I missed a part. When we were me and my mom were walking out of the school, someone else was there too. I don't remember who, but I remember that me and my mom and someone else were there. And it wasn't my dad. Um But I was talking to my mom. I was like, "Why do I have to retake my senior year? Why do I have to take my senior year again? Because in this dream, I graduated, but I'm like, why do I have to take my senior year again?" And I didn't really get an answer. So then we go back to my town. I almost said it. um, but yeah. So we come back and then it's now nighttime because before it was like afternoon, but now it's nighttime. Um, and then me and my mom, because my house, it doesn't have like a patio or anything or a deck out front. It just has like some concrete steps
Mm-hmm.
that lead up to the front door. Um, but me and my mom were sitting on the steps, and we're talking again about like, why do I have to take my senior year? I graduated. I was fine. Why do I have to take my senior year? And why do I have to retake my senior year? And I don't remember what exactly she had said, but it was like, I think I may have also been, yeah, this was it. I was also enrolled in college too. So I was enrolled in college, but I had to retake my senior year, so I had to do two things of school at one time. And I was like, yeah, that's what I said to my mom. I was like, why do I have to retake my senior year when I'm already in college and I graduated last spring? And I was very confused, and I don't remember what she had said, but I was like, I'll move to Fargo with you guys because my family was moving to Fargo, like I said. I was like, I'll move to Fargo with you guys, but I just don't want to take my senior year again when I'm in college already. And it's very confusing. And I was just like, then eventually, like, somehow we came to an agreement. She was like, I think it was the I'll move to Fargo with you guys, was like kind of the, like, she was like, okay. But yeah, I don't know. It was very weird. And then eventually, Mason, my friend Mason came to my house for some reason. I don't remember why, but maybe we were gonna hang out. I don't know. But then, um, the dream ended very weirdly. Because we're done talking about like the me having to take my senior year while in college stuff. And I'm just gonna do college, so I'm not doing my senior year again, for whatever reason. But uh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I remember. Um, um, my mom and her mom, who isn't her mom,
Huh.
but she calls her mom.
Uh-huh.
Like in the dream, I'm assuming it was her mom, but it wasn't her mom. I never met her mom, but
Okay.
I know that the lady in the dream was not her. But yeah, they start doing a TikTok dance, and it was very weird. And then I woke up and I was just like, "What the hell was that dream?" And then I was like, "Are we moving to Fargo? No, we're not."
Was that like more of a disappointment or a relief?
No, it was a relief because I don't want to move, but it would be nice if we moved to Fargo because my friend Bobby, he's going to college in Fargo,
Ah,
so
nice.
that'd be an upside. But
Mm-hmm.
that'd be one of the only upsides of living in Fargo because and my dad doesn't like Fargo. I don't think really any of my family likes Fargo, so I don't envision us moving there anytime soon.
Fair enough.
I think partially why, like, I never really think about like why like I have the certain dreams I do, but I feel like the reason I had this dream is because like cuz my plan is like in terms of like my future and everything, like if I'm able to work remotely, I'll move to a certain town. I don't want to say the name of that town. But I'll move to a certain town if I'm able to work remotely. That's like 45 minutes away from here, where I live right now. And then if I can't work remotely, I'm assuming like I'd be able to find a graphic design job in Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's kind of where my mind was going because I had talked about that a fair bit this week because I went and got a haircut. So I was talking to the lady who cut my hair about that. And then I think I was talking to Mason about it too, maybe. I don't remember who else I was talking about it with, but yeah, it came up a fair bit, so maybe that's like it was on my mind still. So then I had a dream like, oh, we're moving to Fargo, and then also you're taking your senior year again for whatever reason.
Maybe
It was
really
combined.
like senior year.
I didn't mind my senior year; it was a good year. But maybe it's because school's starting up again, and my brother, he went back to school this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this week. And then my mom, she also works at the school. She's a lunch lady.
Nice.
I get a real kick out of saying my mom's a lunch lady because it's just funny. Like, I could say she's a cook at the school, but it's funnier to say that my mom's a lunch lady.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so my mom's a lunch lady at the school. So they both my mom went back to work the week before, but then my brother went back to school this week. So, yeah.
Very nice.
But yeah, also, it's changed since the last time we recorded. I'm unemployed. Also, I started college.
Nice.
So, and I'm doing it all online. So during the day, I have the house all to myself, which is very nice.
Very nice.
Because everyone's my dad's at work and my mom and brother at school. And my mom, I guess, is also at work.
I'm starting college tomorrow. I
Yeah.
don't wanna. I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I've found the perfect story to end off on.
All right.
So, it was like, I don't know, the 5th day when we were on holiday, and we just gave back the car we had, and I was like, you know what, I want to do something more fun, but there was no bungee jumping, there was no paragliding, so I couldn't do any of that. There was also no parasailing because there was no wind on our side of the island.
Hold on. Side note.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question based off of what you just said.
Yep.
Would you ever bungee dive or skydive? Would you either do either of those two
I
things?
mean, I've already paraglided.
That's not what I asked.
I would do them straight away.
You would either bungee dive or skydive?
I'd do both.
You would?
Yeah.
I probably... I don't know. I would... It's a bucket list thing for sure to skydive. So I'd probably do that one, but bungee diving, I don't think. I don't know that I would want to.
It's just the adrenaline rush. It doesn't help that I do have a phobia of heights after my dad. So
Same here.
I see heights and immediately I get wobbly knees and sweaty palms and I'm like, just get on my knees. I don't want to look down this cliff.
Yeah, me too. I didn't realize this until like a few years ago, but because I was like me and my brother, we would always make fun of my mom for being scared of heights because she's really scared of heights. Because if we're like in a big building in like a mall or something, she can't like look down over the edge. She can't do that. She gets scared. She's just like, oh. Whereas I can, but so my fear of heights isn't as bad. Mm-hmm. But a few years ago, we went to the Valley Fair in Minnesota. And there was this ride called what was it called? It was called the Power Tower. And it's like a ride that, there's two versions of it. There's one that shoots you up and then you slowly get brought back down. And there's one that slowly goes up and then just shoots you down. My dad was pestering me all day to try and get me to go on that one. Then eventually he wore me down enough to get me on there because I really did not want to do it because of my fear of heights / falling.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a fear of falling as opposed to heights. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so he gets me in the line for this thing and I'm like, shit, I can't back out now, son of a bitch. And so then we get on the ride and we're like slowly being brought up because that's the one we went on. We went on this one that slowly brings you up. And I'm looking down and like I start freaking out. I'm like, oh my god. And like at some point, I don't remember if it was when we got dropped or when we were going up, when I was looking down, I was like, oh no, it was when we were dropped. I started freaking out, but I was looking around when we were being brought up. And my dad was like, it's a good view. And I'm like, yeah, I suppose you're right. When I'm like already like kind of shitting my pants, I'm like, oh my god, this is so scary. And then like I didn't want to freak out when we got dropped because I was like, I'm gonna freak out. But then we get brought down and I'm like, oh my god, like I say that like I'm like, oh my god. And then it's like my dad and like two like teenage girls on the ride with me and my dad. I'm just like, oh my god. And like I say that like as we get dropped initially because it drops you and then you like kind of bounce for a little bit when you get dropped. And like the initial drop, like I didn't expect like the force of it. I was just like, oh my god, like involuntary. Like if I had a choice, I wouldn't have screamed, but I was just like, oh my god, like that exact way. I freaked out and my dad's like, you're okay, and I was like, okay. Like it was so scary. And then I think I went on like one or two more rides afterwards, but yeah, I was done for like a good solid 30 minutes. Like I went on like one roller coaster, maybe some other ride, but yeah, after that I was about done. I was just like, okay, I'm done for a little bit. That was too much.
So yeah.
But anyway, on with your story.
Yeah, sorry, no worries. So I'm gonna add on to what you said. I have similar things. So about 6 years ago, I was really scared of like roller coasters and stuff and dropping and like ladders and stuff. But in near like an hour away from where we live, we went to Blackpool. It's Blackpool Pleasure Beach, with school, and there is the biggest roller coaster in Merseyside in England. So I went on that once, and my fear of like roller coasters kind of went away, which is great. Also, like 4 years ago, I went on holiday to Tenerife, and there they have Siam Park, and you have a ride, like what's it called, like a thing there, like a water slide that's you get like locked into this tube, and then you like, they tell you to like cross your arms over your chest and to like hold your breath, and then the floor underneath you just opens up and you fall and like down this tube, and then you like skim across this water, and it's really cool. And I did that. Before it, I was like really scared. After it, my fear of like falling kind of went away, and that's where I got my confidence to do the paragliding and stuff like that. Anyway, back to the actual story.
Yeah.
So I wanted the adrenaline rush, and the only thing we could have actually done that was around hours that was open, because COVID and that. Was like quads and buggies and stuff like that. So I told you what we already I already told you that we rented out buggies, but it was probably one of the most stressful days I've ever had. So we start the day at like 10 a.m., 9 a.m. We pick up the buggy and the quad, and we take them over to our hotel. We get ready. We're like, awesome. We're gonna go out and like drive around the mountains, go to the therm pools, visit a beach. It's gonna be great. I was on the quad with my dad. We were taking turns driving because apparently it really hurts your thumb to drive that thing. And my mum was driving the buggy and my sister was sitting in the buggy. So we get halfway down this like long road and we just drive into this forest near the first ever hospital, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we drive past that. We keep on driving. We're in these like forests with like these cool curvy roads and everything. And my mum starts noticing a problem with the buggy. Like when she slows down, it was an automatic, but when you slowed down, it sounded like it needed the clutch, and it kept on like just turning off. So, because I'm a big brain and I know a lot about cars, I noticed it was running a really rich, and so was our quad. And I think it's because they wanted you to burn more fuel, so you spent more money at like gas stations. Because I noticed it was running rich because it kept on drowning out the engine, and also when you downshifted, the exhaust would pop and like flame up. That means there was excess fuel in the exhaust, and it ignited, and therefore it popped. So we called up the guy. I was like, yo, this thing isn't running too great. And he's like, oh, we should be fine, should be fine. Like, all right, we trust him because he's been doing this a long time. And he said this was his best buggy and his best quad, so it's great. So we take the buggy and the quad down some questionable paths, like steep and narrow and really curvy roads. And the buggy turned off and it wouldn't turn on again.
Oh no.
It just stopped. It just didn't work. So we called up the guy. We're like, yo, you lied. It's not good. Get over here, fix it, or we're suing you. So we quickly drove over in his Kia. Okay. That was weird. Sorry if there's a weird cut and you're missing some things. Bit of a problem. It's fine though. It should be fine. Anyway, what was I up to? Yeah, we threatened the guy.
Yeah, you just called the guy.
Yeah, we threatened the guy. We told him to get down there and help us fix it. Came over, took the oil filter out. The fuel filter out. It's like, obviously he's gonna take it out. If he takes it out, then the fuel's gonna be less pure, and then it's gonna fix the problem for a bit, but it might ruin the engine, of course. So he quote unquote fixed it, but we didn't know where we were. So before he got there, we needed to tell him where we was. So obviously, knowing my luck and knowing my family's luck, it has to just be in the middle of just buttfuck nowhere. Just there's no signal anywhere. No one can get like a GPS anywhere. We don't know where we're going, where we are. We noticed that right where we've parked up, there's an army station. So I don't know if you've been hearing a lot obviously there's a war, Taliban's kind of Afghanistan,
Yeah.
all that. So basically the immigrants have been coming over to Greece and been hiding out at the army bases in Greece. Is like helping out. And they were on really high alert, and there was just 50 plus guards just waiting outside with just M4A1s just ready to shoot anyone down. So obviously my mom, being the obnoxious amazing person she is, she walks over to the army base with her phone in her hand, in her face, pointing at them. If you don't know, there's like a rule that you're not supposed to have phones around army bases because you can like take a picture, and
Yeah.
obviously it's not great. So obviously she came over like 10 meters. There's just 7 Greek guards just like, stop, don't move a muscle, and just pointing guns at her. Mom was like, what's happening? Huh? So she's like, I'm sorry, we just need help. She passed them the phone, and then the Greek guy had to like, the guy we took the quad and buggy from had to talk to the army people while my mom is like just waiting there and just getting pointed at. Almost impeccable timing. Just a giant army truckload of people comes in, and my mum stood in the entrance, and they just have to look and just wait for her to finish the conversation. And there's just this giant truck waiting for her, like 7 guards pointing a gun at her, and like gates and barbed wire everywhere around, and we're just sat with a buggy and quad, like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
We're not dangerous. Please do not shoot me in my no-no square, So, it was fine. It was all sorted. My mom kind of did scare us a little bit, but it's fine. The guy came over, fixed it. It was great. And yeah, we drove off. The guy told us that we're not allowed to drive up in the mountains. I don't know what the stupid idiot he is. Like, slap it. He needs a slap in the forehead. That you can't take quads and a buggy off-road.
Yeah.
Like, what was the logic in that, So he like escorted us down some roads, and then we went back off-road when he left us, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the story of how Renee died. Again.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Ah, well.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to stop it.
Oh, well, the boys are back in town. New episode every other week, hopefully. Unless we're late or forget or something. Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah.